leadership of this organization and the direction they're taking us is a farce, and that is wrong.
Since the issue of me being a maintenance manager, which I know is...
He only gets to speak once on the issue, right?
Well, no, there were two people that brought it up. When I went outside, I was harassed out in the corner over here by a group of people. And they said, what are you doing here? Are you going to be the maintenance manager? And I said, yeah, sure.
No.
That was what happened.
Pat, that's not what happened, Pat. Tell the truth.
It's not fair when he's lying.
Come up there. Come up there.
Good. Instead of doing what you do all the time.
You should know.
What happened is we were out here collecting ballots. Pat walked out, and I'm friends with Pat. I've never had any bad things with him. I said, just joke around. I said, hey, Pat. I said, what'd you do? Go and apply for a job? Because I knew y'all were interviewing people for the job. And he, as he got in the truck, he goes, yeah, I'm the new maintenance supervisor.
They're the ones that asked me.
Maintenance manager. And then I said, oh, really? And I said, FIFO. I said, FIFO. He goes, what's that? And I said, that's first in, first out. Meaning, once you're gone, he's gone too. So he got in his truck, and that's when he made the rain comment to Scott. And he drove down to the beach house. That's what happened. That's what really happened. Not that it matters, okay? But let's just, if he's going to get up here and say that we're starting these rumors and everything else, that is not the truth. You just heard the truth. He said it. I didn't say it. He said it. I didn't start the rumor. He started it. And then, hold on, one more thing. So I talked to Earl Dean the other day while I was in the gym. And he said, yeah, we threw a little red meat out to you, and you grabbed it and ran. I'm like, red meat? I said, why would you guys lie to us to see if we're gonna bite and then go throw it on Facebook or make rumors? Why would you throw something out that's not true? I mean, how about a little truth here once in a while?
I'm Dan Ramsey. I don't speak real loud, so I appreciate it. Nobody interrupted me while I'm speaking. I've read some of the stuff on emails concerning the nominating committee. I've heard, that it may be stacked, and who's going to be on it? Was it prejudged or whatever? I threw my hat in the ring last year when we had to do it. Billy did, and I've been contacted by Skip. And asked me if I'd be on it again this year, and I said yes. That's the last thing I've heard of what's going on. What I'd like to make clear is that I love the enthusiasm that all these new people are coming forward and stuff. And I encourage you to keep coming to these meetings. The nominating committee meetings are all open to the public. The only thing that we've ever asked, and I've done this twice before, is that the people that are running for the board do not come to the very first meeting, because that's the meeting that we discuss and make up questions and stuff. That's the only thing that we ever ask. Otherwise, it's open to everybody. Minutes are kept. And all we do, and this is the way it's been done for years, is we make recommendation to the board of directors. Now, they don't have to accept that at all. I mean, they can pick whoever they want to. It doesn't matter. We try to pick who we think is the best candidate, whether you're for the recall or not for the recall. That's got nothing to do with that. We have 4 positions that are going to come up, and this is unusual to say the least. One of those positions will be for 1 year. The other 3 positions will be for 2 years. Now, somebody else wrote on there and said, well, who's going to be what? Well, it doesn't matter what we think. That's up to the board of directors. The board of directors has, when they're appointed to office, and I've been there, you decide what your strong suits are, and that determines You know, whether you want to be the president, vice president, or secretary, or treasurer, whatever you want to do. I mean, that's their decision, and that's their right, as a member. They've earned that right. Now, you know, I know everybody's up in arms and everything, but I can guarantee you one thing. And anybody that knows me personally, in any committee I've ever sat on, or whatever, and I've been fighting a war with all I got to see for many years. You know, I'm honest, I'll shoot you straight. You've got a question, ask me. But these assumptions and these things that people are putting out there, some of them are really good questions, some of them are bad questions, and some of them are just damn stupid questions. You know, they really are. So I wanted to get up here and explain the process to you people. You know, because a lot of you have never been here, or you're hearing things secondhand or thirdhand or whatever. The best thing to do is come to these meetings, get involved. If you've got candidates that are coming up, you're only talking 8 weeks or so till the next election. I mean, we got to pick 4 good people. That's it. That's what I want. So that's all I wanted to say. I wanted people to understand the process of how this works. It's got absolutely nothing to do with the board. Yes.
You said you've got to pick 4 good people.
Yes.
So if you're gonna pick the 4 people, why bother with the vote of the members?
Because
The governance pointed it out. No, he's talking about we've got to elect 4 good people.
Can I explain?
You've gotta have more than 4 on the ballot.
Can I explain then?
Yeah.
Okay, what happens is that the candidates, however many there are,
Right.
the nominating committee recommend the number of positions that are vacant. So if there's 10 candidates and 4 positions, the nominating committee recommend 4 people. The board then has the option to take that recommendation. That recommendation just goes on the ballot as this candidate was recommended.
Correct.
Does
So
the other names go as well?
Yes.
Yes.
And actually, last year, because we had such a mess with the dates kept moving and nobody knew when the cutoff date was.
Right.
There was no recommendations published on the ballot. The names were drawn out of a hat for the order on the ballot, so there was no recommendation. So 10 people ran with no recommendations.
Right. Yeah, so to answer your question, and you do not have to come to the nominating committee to run for the board of directors. That's strictly up to you. You know, I mean, yeah, we like to know about you, but it's not necessary at all for you to do that. And in fact, even if the nominating committee gives names to the board, or the nominating committee doesn't, I mean, you know, it still comes down to you guys. It still comes down to your vote, you know. So I don't want to see once this thing's resolved that you all go home and go fishing or something. You know, I mean, that's what I like to do, but I'm just saying, you know, stay active, stay here so that you understand what's going on. And if you got any questions, you know, you can always ask me. Okay.
Yeah.
My name is Mark Lewis, 2035 Commodore Drive. Got a quick question because I am new. Is the nominating committee selected at the annual meeting in July? And how long does it run? Is it till the next July?
You ready for me to answer? Okay.
Yes.
It has not always been selected in July. I think the prior year it was selected after the July meeting. Last year, the chairman was selected only at the July meeting. And I mean, people move out of the area, they...
I understand.
Yeah.
But my question is it
year.
supposed to be 1 year?
It's
okay,
one
so my question then is, if the current chair has stepped aside, but the other members that are on that nominating committee are still available until this July, why are we even asking to dissolve the committee? We don't do that with the board. We pick a new board member for that empty seat. So if you have 3 or 4 other nominating committee members who were picked last July that had 1 year on their committee term, then why are we dissolving the committee? Why are we even considering it? Why are we not just simply asking to put one name on the committee if that's the number of positions you gotta fill?
3 or 5. 3 to 5.
Okay, but my point being is how many are on the nominating committee that was developed last July that's still on there 1 year?
There had been 3.
There have been 3.
And there's 2 here now, Dan and Billy.
Okay,
You still
so
want to be on.
you need
Still
to
want to be
add,
on.
so you need to add how many then?
1 or 3 more.
1 or 3 more. But then again, my question is why are we even talking about dissolving the committee when you still have committee members on it? Those 2 fill the other positions.
I think that's a good point, myself.
You heard the answer.
Kelly Smith, 7316 Olympia Street. The covenants are pretty clear. For committees, the nominating committee, the president shall appoint a chairman of the nominating committee at a regular meeting of the board of directors. This is a special meeting held in July of each year. The board of directors shall elect 2 additional members for this committee and report of the slate of officers for ensuring for the ensuing year shall be made at the annual meeting. Additional nominations for officers may be made from the floor. Those are the facts. All right, you can't dispute the covenants.
I think the previous speaker made a point. You've got 3 to 5 people on the nominating committee. 2 of them are already on and 1 of them named. Leave those 2 and pick 3 others. They were very good, if you don't mind. They were very good. I can attest to that. I was interviewed by them. I felt they were interested in the interview with the questions they asked me. At the meeting in September, when Bill and I got on the board, I was extremely impressed with how things had been handled as far as their process. I never saw anything handled as well as they had handled it. It's probably one of the best nominating committees that we had. I know the year before that, there were problems. There weren't any meetings, and this, that, and the other thing, whatever. So I think they're 2 really good people. I don't care what they believe in. I haven't got a clue. One maybe I do, the other one I haven't got a clue. But I can attest to all of you here, having experienced their work, they are very good, and they are objective.
So we usually just speak one time.
Okay, well, I'm going to speak again anyway because I am sorry. I don't think my time ever really ran out, but because I am new here, and if you ask me whether I was for or against recall, I'd tell you it's none of your business to anybody on both sides, but I would also like to move forward, so I would throw my name in the hat to be on the nominating committee. Again, my name is Mark Lewis, 2035 Congo.
All right.
I would just point out there's a conflict in the covenants because one place it says what Kelly just wrote.
Right.
The appointment of the committee chairperson is made at a regular meeting in July, and 2 additional members, so 3. There's another place where it talks about 30 days prior to the election, minimum of 3, a maximum of 5.
But if we have 30 days prior to the election,
That's why it doesn't make any sense.
it doesn't make any sense because we have to have the ballots out. We have to have the ballots out 45 days before the election. So if the nominating committee, they would be meeting after the ballots went out. Not less than 30 days.
Just listening to everything that's going on, we are in such turmoil over the whole board of directors and everything. I think the most important thing is to keep the people that are already in place and not cause any more dysfunction or turmoil because those people are already here. They've already been approved, they need to stay, and to just, just completely say they're not important anymore and you want to appoint your own people is not the right thing to do. We need to have stable environment We need to keep the people that have been nominated and voted in and go forward from there and not start all over. That's not a good thing to do for anybody in the homeowners association.
Could you state your name, please?
Oh, Dawn Griffith. Thank you.
Well, based upon what I've heard and some very good points have been brought up, I think it would only be the right thing to do for me to withdraw my motion to dissolve the current committee.
Amen.
It seems like that, although Billy made a mistake putting me on the board, I think he's still a good guy. And with Dan on there, Dan's very, very reasonable. I think that we should probably just appoint maybe 3 more people or 2, and let's just go forward with that.
That's wonderful.
What an odd number though. Let's have a chairman. Okay, as president, I will, I make a motion to appoint Pat Trainer, who was the original chairman of the committee. Do I have a second?
He was never the chairman.
No.
He was never the chairman.
He was appointed.
No, he was not.
Please, don't shout.
Well, hey, you said I don't talk loud enough, so now I'm talking loud.
There's no need to shout.
You could go for a long time, Alex. I'm not in a good mood. All right?
Well, I'm
I looked
sorry.
these minutes up. I looked them up. They were approved minutes. At the organizational meeting minutes, which was approved, you said that he would be ratified as the chairman in August. That never happened. It was Skip Hardington. He wasn't on the committee.
Ma'am, I do have a question. You and I discussed some things, little things.
Yeah. Well, just
And,
bring
and there was one item I said to you, which that I appreciated your honesty. Am I correct? Okay. Is there any problem between you and I? Or
No.
do you think I would be, pick somebody that I want?
There's nothing between us.
Okay.
That being the case,
I'm not asking to sleep with you.
I second the motion for Pat Trainer to be chair.
Okay. It's motioned and seconded to appoint Pat Trainer as chair of the nominating committee. Discussion? Okay, are you ready for the
If she has
question?
minutes and everything, shouldn't that like be put on hold until she can prove that he wasn't? I mean, there's some kind of, not, things are,
We're making a motion for tonight. It's irrelevant. We're making a motion for tonight.
He was never appointed to the committee. The chairperson has the authority to appoint the chairperson of the committee. That doesn't require the board. The chairperson is the person, the president has the authority to select the chair. She can say, I want Pat Trainer to be, okay, Pat Trainer is.
Okay.
But the other 2 people are not Pat Trainer. One person has 1 vote. 2 people will control the outcome of that committee.
Okay, so we are voting on Pat Trainer. To approve Pat Trainer.
Why are we voting? How is
Do
that?
we have a motion?
Yeah, no, but based on what he said.
You can
We still got to
ratify.
vote.
Okay.
Okay, so the question.
That's her selection. You can discuss it, disagree, do whatever you want to. You can tell her why you don't want him to be the chairperson.
Are you ready for the question, board? The question is to approve Pat Trainer as chairman of the nominating committee. Will those in favour please say aye?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. I'm sorry, was that Mary?
That was Mary.
yes.
Will those opposed say nay?
Nay.
Okay. Pat Trainer is appointed as chairman of the nominating committee, 4-1.
I have another nomination. I'd like at this time to nominate Terrell Deegan to the nominating committee.
I second the motion. Is she here?
I don't believe she is.
And she isn't here.
Does she ever come?
Yes.
Yes.
Every day.
Every day?
No, meetings. Board meetings.
Yeah. I think she does.
I think she does.
You know,
I don't think she does.
I don't think that in the covenant's a requirement.
Well, it may not be a requirement, but I think it's worth noting.
You have a committee already, you got 3 on the committee. That's what it says in the
It
covenant.
says 3 to 5.
Yeah, but that's the part where it says 30 days, so you're gonna pick and choose what you wanna use in that part? It says 3.
Let's just go with 3.
We're trying to rig the committee.
Let's
Is
go
there
with
anyone
3.
nominate for the floor? Mark Lewis. I nominate Mark Lewis.
I second it.
The nominations from the floor are for officers, are for directors. They're not for members of the nominating committee. It says officers.
I don't know if that's correct. I think they can nominate.
No, they cannot.
What's supposed to
If
happen?
we find out that they can,
They,
go on check, if we find out that they can, then what are you gonna do?
the board nominates the nominating committee.
No.
They do.
The chairperson of the committee normally goes out and finds people they want to serve on the committee. They present that to the board. And then the board appoints them to the committee. Has the chairperson done that? You got additional people for the committee?
No, the board doesn't.
Pat?
Well, you're one, right? You need 2 more additional?
You don't need 2 more.
Pardon?
You got
Don't
Dan,
need
and
2
Bill,
more.
and you.
I'm sorry.
You have yourself,
Yes.
Billy, and Dan.
You got 3 people.
Resolve, you got
Okay.
3.
That's what the covenant
I'll
says.
need 2 more.
You don't need 2 more.
Yeah,
It's always been 3 on the committee.
let's,
It could be,
because my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, there seemed to be some confusion on 2 parts of the covenants. One part of the covenant where it says 3 people,
Yes?
and one part of the covenant where it says 5 people.
No, it says 3 or
3 to
4.
5.
Three
to
3
5.
3 to 5,
The
sorry.
section
3 to 5.
under committees says 3. Where it talks about the annual election is where it says a minimum of 3, a max of 5. They've never had 5 people on a nominating committee.
There's a lot of things we haven't had, though, I'm just
It
saying.
just creates more problems.
What are you gonna do?
right.
Why would 5 create more problems?
Scheduling the
So we can't
meetings,
take
people
them
get
out?
together and stuff.
Right now you have one person on the board
Agendas
that's not
that
here.
get people on the committee that they work, they can only meet at
Never
night.
had a 5
People that don't work can only meet in the daytime. It's just problems.
Okay, is there anybody so far on the committee that works that couldn't meet in the daytime? No, Billy?
I
No?
served on a committee before that had 5 on it. Those were problems.
I've served on a committee also.
Him and I were on the same committee.
Is it a problem with,
No,
that?
no.
No, there's no problem with 5. As a matter of fact,
You're a liar.
Excuse me, please.
would you like to run for office? There's no problem with 5. The more the merrier, in the sense that, to me, you get a good mix. And the second part of that is that when you have a meeting, as long as you have an odd number, you can get a vote at a meeting. We had problems before with getting people to meetings there'd only be 2 people, and that's a problem. If only 2 show, then you have no meeting. So the more, actually, it's the merrier, the chances that 4 will show, that's a possibility. You might have a deadlock on that, but I think the odds are, the more that you have, the better your chances are of getting the work done. One of the things that Dan mentioned earlier, it's really not about the committee itself. I don't know who's running. I have no idea, except a couple I've seen, but because it'd be a lie if I said I didn't know anybody. I know there's a couple that's running, but I have no idea until their names come forward and until it's validated that they can even run. We've had people run here that their validation was questioned after the election because the individual, he didn't actually have a piece of property, it was in a trust, and our covenants doesn't address trusts. So that created a bit of a problem, and had to go to an attorney, get straightened out. So you run into those type of things.
As the chair of the committee, Would you want 3, 4, or 5?
Well, actually, I'd rather have 5 so that my vote, and Dan's vote would be kind of muted, and Billy's would be kind of mixed. I mean, I really, no matter what they want to believe, you know, oh yeah, I have nobody in mind. I got to wait to see how it plays out, like everybody else on that committee. And I think that when you ask the questions, if they're valid questions, and they answer them correctly, they'll get points for it. That's the way it works.
Okay, we have a nomination
And a second.
and a second. This is a lady,
Yes.
which would be nice to have a female in there. Why?
I don't know about that.
Why not?
Yeah, yes.
Let her be the chair.
The right thing to do.
She would be
Well,
a
could
good.
we see the list and hear the names? I know Christina gave me said something saying that she wants to be on the nominating committee. Can't we at least hear the list of people? You just say who you want and we're supposed to vote?
We had a nomination, we had a motion, and we
I
had
know,
a
I'm
second.
asking you, can we hear what the list is? Who are the people on the list?
Well, when we've had the motion, there's a motion on the floor that needs to be addressed. The motion
For
needs,
one person, if you wanna go for, I forget her name, Terrell?
yeah, the motion on the floor.
Okay, what I'm gonna ask is, once you've made that vote for her, I would like to hear the list of names of people. I don't wanna just hear a name from you, and then I'm supposed to decide on a name from you.
Well,
You
you're welcome
make
to
a
nominate
motion,
somebody.
yeah, you may absolutely make a motion.
Fine, then I will.
Okay.
How many
So
people
it
are you
is,
appointing?
excuse me, it is motioned and seconded to nominate Terrell Deegan to the nominating committee. Okay, so the question,
Are we discussing?
yeah, we can have discussion.
Do we know what her qualifications are? Does she come to board meetings? Does she know the covenants? Does she know Florida 720?
Not a requirement.
It's not a requirement.
How do you know?
She's an attorney.
You don't even know what it says in the covenants.
She is an attorney, or she was an attorney.
You're telling me it's not a requirement. What is a requirement for the nominating committee?
The requirement for the for the chair,
Is you appoint.
I've appointed the
Right.
chair, yes.
Over them.
Yes.
But what is the requirement to be qualified to be on the nominating committee?
To
That's
be
what
a
I'm asking.
member. To be a member.
So that's it. Just be a member.
Yes. Yes, all you have to be is a member and dues paid up, and that's it.
21.
And 21, yeah, thank you. And 21. Earlier on committees, I mean, were really some simple questions like, you know, what would you do if you were king, you know, that kind of stuff. And those were the type of questions that the committee had asked in the past. And Billy will tell you that I believe on our committee we asked more pertinent questions that could be answered. That there were no, well, I'm not sure, they didn't or they didn't. And that's how people were rated. And believe it or not, even though the people were rated probably the lowest, the board at the time decided that their person wasn't picked, so they threw the nominations away. So I mean, that's the way it plays out. That happened. It's a fact.
Thank you.
Is your hand okay?
How many people are you appointing to the committee?
I think Pat said he wanted 5.
How many people are you appointing to the committee?
5.
2 additional ones. You got
We've
Pat now as the
got-
chair, and you already got
Wait a
the
minute,
2
we've
that are
got,
still on there.
we've got Pat, Billy, and Dan. And this is another nomination.
How many people are you appointing to the nominating committee?
If there are 5 that can get the votes, there'll be 5.
Okay. But
Okay,
don't do an odd number.
what?
Odd number.
Don't do it.
I think you meant.
I'm sorry, don't do an even.
Even number.
You know what I meant.
Okay, the question is to approve Terrell Deegan to the nominating committee. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
She's not here, so we can't even meet her? That kind of concerns
Mary,
me
are
that
you on the phone?
you're nominating somebody
Mary,
that's
are
not
you
even
still there?
here. That doesn't make sense to
Excuse
me.
me, Mary?
It's green lights on. If she can't hear us, she can't vote.
Well, let's see if she's there.
I said yes.
She is there, okay. Did you
All of a
hear
sudden
what?
she said yes.
Okay, Mary, did you hear what was going on?
Yes.
Yeah.
I voted aye.
You have to repeat it.
She said aye.
What's your position?
What was your vote, Mary?
Aye.
Okay. Those opposed?
Is that, are you asking it the right way?
I'm asking who, those opposed say nay.
No.
Okay. So Terrell, the motion to appoint Terrell Deegan to the nominating committee is approved 4-1.
Okay, now I'd like to say, I'd like to hear the names from the list of the people who signed up to be on the nominating committee. I'd like to hear their names.
I don't have the list. Do you have the list?
Well, how would I have the list? Why would I have the list?
She said she had to
Skip Mary back.
recess.
Excuse me, can I speak? My name's Dan
There we go.
My name's Dan Schellenberger.
Hang on, we're trying to get it back.
That's fine, it doesn't matter what I have to say, if she hears it or not. You had the nominating committee list in this lobby, did you not? For people to sign up.
Yes.
So you're sitting here telling Miss Rebecca or Miss Jan that you don't have that list with you. I can sit here and tell you that I've witnessed people come into this rec center and volunteer to be on this nominating committee.
Right.
It should be fair and balanced. There should be a checks and balance system going on in this building. There is not.
Excuse me for just a second.
At this point in time, you should produce that, and if you can't, you should ask the people sitting here who they were.
Note in the meeting that he left. Call was dropped.
Can we get
a note in the minutes that the call of
wait a
Mary
minute.
has
We're
been
getting,
dropped,
while he comes back up.
and Bill has left for the moment.
Sandy, could you pass me the-
What would you like?